Hey guys, and welcome back to part 7 of the I Know Why Your Results Might Suck series. So, yesterday we discussed water and staying hydrated and how important it is, certainly if you're trying to stay healthy, lose weight, increase your metabolism, and all those cool things. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the nutrition side of things. Again, another really, really important part of staying healthy, losing weight. Now it's an area that a lot of people do know a lot about, but there's certain things that people still are unsure of, and certainly do struggle with. Certainly in terms of staying consistent and living in a way that's really sustainable to help them achieve what it is that they want. Now, a lot of you will be aware that I'm not the sort of person who just dishes out diet plans. I don't do that. I get that question an awful lot. People say, "Can I just buy a diet plan off you?" That's not really how I work. I'm all about working with people to help them find their own way, the best way that works best for them. You see, if I was to hand over, let's say, a typical diet plan PDF to someone, based on what I think works, this is going to ultimately be my plan. I'm going to be giving people my plan. Now, what that doesn't take into account is when I get up, when I go to work, how long I work for, when I get home from work, where I'll go in the day, what foods do I like, what foods don't I like. All these things are not taken into consideration, and people are just taking diet plans off certain people. And that doesn't work. It might work for a week, it might work for two, but the longer lasting results are probably not going to be there. People get fed up with it. They realise that they're pig sick of eating chicken or salmon, and they don't like broccoli, or maybe they've got an allergic reaction to nuts and they don't respond well to certain vegetables and carbs. It could be numerous things as why a certain diet plan doesn't work for someone. So that's ultimately why I don't just give out diet plans, because it's not going to work for that person. It might, but it probably isn't. It works for me because it's mine. But it's all about finding the best way that works for you. Now, while we're on the subject of diets, we don't really do diets as such, but to be honest, all diets work. There's a lot of talk about various things, certainly in the media these days, of, oh, don't do that because that doesn't work and that's a load of rubbish. The truth is, all diets work. Fact. Because most diets are based around people eating differently, eating a little bit healthier, a little bit cleaner, and probably eating less calories than they're used to. So you're going to lose weight. The trick is, can you live like that? Is it sustainable? If you go to certain diet clubs, and there are certain diets out there where they're a little bit extreme, and yeah, you lose weight, and you probably lose too much over the first week or two, but people can't live like that. It's not sustainable. So my theory is, why start that in the first place? Because you're only going to end up yo-yo dieting. If you're someone who loses a load of weight and keeps putting it back on all the time, you need to have a real good look at your approach. There's a better approach. There's my approach, the health formation approach, where I discuss in my nutritional freedom formula about how we take this more less restrictive approach, and one with more flexibility, where we have this 80% approach. Because I can tell you for a fact that a lot of people fail because they try to make it too hard. They try to make it too perfect. If they're not eating 100% healthy or to the plan, they feel like they failed, and then they get a lot of pain, shame, and guilt, and then that causes to a lot of other negative, actions. So just take the foot off the gas a little. Life could be a lot more fun. So when we talk about the 80-20, are you sticking to your plan by 80% of what you've agreed upon at the beginning? And as I normally say to people, imagine you eat 3 meals a day, that's 21 in the week. 80% works out at about 17 or 18 meals. So already now that looks a lot easier to achieve. I've got 2 to 3 meals that don't actually matter if they're not so good. There's obviously a difference between eating a pizza and I don't know, having a few chips on the side of your plate. Take your foot off the gas, make things a little bit easier, make things fun, make things sustainable, because if they're sustainable, you're going to do them long term, and if you're enjoying it, it's going to work. The best diet in the world is the one that you can do and you enjoy. So taking the 80% rule is kind of my, let's say, general way that we kind of go about it, and then we sort of take bits out and put new things back in, and that's why the one-to-one approach really works with that. But when we get into the nitty-gritty of it, it's quite simply a case of, does your meal contain protein? Because a lot of people don't eat enough protein, especially women. They're a little bit afraid to eat protein, and they think if they eat more protein they're going to end up looking like men, or I don't know. But a lot of people don't eat enough protein. You get in about a gram and a half per kilo of your body weight. That's a good place to start, and then you can sort of work with it. Are you someone who's going to be doing more weight training? Are you an endurance athlete? Are you trying to lose weight, gain weight? Whatever the case may be, that's where we can start to get a little bit, personalised and look at things from an individual perspective. So protein is of first importance. It even says that in the dictionary. Then the second thing is vegetables. A lot of people don't eat enough vegetables, and if they do, they probably don't eat enough green vegetables. The greener the better, but get a good mixture. Colours mean more vitamins and minerals, but you really need to be getting like the green leafy stuff, broccoli, green beans, because there's loads of amazing benefits to doing that. People say to me, I don't like eating them, they're boring. Well, there are ways to make them more interesting. I'm someone who flavours up their green vegetables, because I'll be honest, it's not something that I love as such. I love the fact that they are tasty now, so I eat them more. So there's a lot of things that you can do to make foods that people class as bland as interesting. So you've got protein, you've got vegetables, and then the next thing is, are you eating healthier fats or a carbohydrate source? Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they think that if they take the carbohydrates away from their diet, they're going to lose weight. Now, as much as that can help, what they fail to do is replace it. One of the rules of the mind is that when you take something away, you've got to replace it. Now, by taking away carbohydrates, you're removing your energy source, and that's where fats give you energy. I get it that a lot of people are afraid to eat fat because they think that that's what makes them get fat. Actually, carbohydrates are more likely to make people fat. I'm not going to go into that on this video, but that's something that people really need to get their head around. So, are you having a healthy fat source? Are you cooking in butter, coconut oil? Are you eating nuts, avocados, olives? All them really good, tasty things that are going to give you energy. Because if you've got more energy, you're going to do more, you're going to want to do more, you're going to get to the gym, you're going to get up in the morning. Things are just going to be a lot easier. Okay, and then there's some other little things that really I probably need to discuss on this video, and that's, it's alright when things are going well, it's obvious, but what happens when things aren't going so well? What happens when you're busy? What happens then? Because the amount of times people say to me, oh well, I was doing really well, but then I got busy and I was in a meeting and it wasn't my fault. Okay, and then they justify the reason. They don't take responsibility. You know, think to yourself, where are you going to be in the next 2 or 3 hours? Am I going to have access to food? Do I need to take food with me? You know, can I nip into Sainsbury's or Tesco's and grab something quick, something based around protein, grab a quick salad and maybe some nuts, just simple things like that. And let's say you get home at night in the evening and you've got no food. You open the fridge and it's all gone. You forgot to go shopping. Okay, we'll go and have a takeaway then. You can do that, there's nothing wrong with that. But are you happy? There's an easier way around it. Something that a system I use is my power plate system or reserve foods. I'll always have some sort of food in the house that I can just eat, make up a semi-decent meal if I get stuck. Like things like tinned fish, eggs, nuts, frozen vegetables, frozen prawns. All these things that keep well. So they're always kind of in there. I don't regularly eat them, but they're there if I get a little bit stuck and I can quickly whip up an omelette or crack open some tins of fish and microwave some frozen veg. It gets me out of a hole when I'm stuck. So it's not easy, but it can be simpler. It's just you need to get your head around things a little bit more. You know, where am I going to be? What can I do? How can I get around that? Do I need to prepare this, prepare that? It sounds like it can be a little bit of a ball ache, but actually it can actually save you time. If you're cooking a meal in the evening, maybe you make extra for tomorrow or you put it in the freezer for another day. It's just being more aware of these things that you can do. Okay, so there you go. The nutrition video of this series. Hope you got something from that, and I'll be back in part 8.